Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, today I'm really excited about this. Check this out. Now, do you remember our show we did recently about the top, I think it was the top 5 coolest new record players of 2019? This company, Music Public Kingdom, had at least one, maybe 2 entries in that show on sheer novelty alone. And this is probably the very top of the list. This is a slot-in record player. So this is a modern take on a 60s classic where you actually can insert the record like a kind of like a CD player, a changer in a car. It'll be really cool to check out. So I'm excited to see what this is all about. Now it comes in a variety of colors, of course. And the one that looks the most retro and cool to me was the blue one. So we got the blue one, and I'm really excited. Look how small this box is. You know, the camera's doing a little bit of a fisheye thing, but it's actually a pretty small box. So only plays 7-inch records. When I originally did the show, I think I mentioned that it did 12 and 7-inch records. So that was an error. It only does 7-inch records. So we're gonna do 45s. There's also 33 RPM 7-inch records, so we'll check that out as well. We'll test it out with a small sprocket versus a big sprocket and see how that works as well. Very excited to see that, so you're not going to want to miss this.
This is Record-ology.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and unbox this. Now, I inevitably get people that comment, and I encourage all comments that are respectful and nice, but I get these guys on there every single week, no matter what record player we look at, what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, and they say the same thing every single time. And that is, well, that's not like my Technics SL1200. No, it's not, but it's not supposed to be. This is for fun. This is a novelty item. This is really more about the aesthetic and the experience. It's not like a super hi-fi audiophile piece of equipment. It's not intended to be. This is so cool looking, you guys. Check this out. Slot-in innovative design, 2 speeds, 33 and 45, auto stop function, ceramic cartridge, Bluetooth function, so you can stream your phone audio to it, tone tuning for personal sound taste, built-in speaker for nice sound, and a built-in rechargeable 1800 milliamp hour battery, which supports portable use, and a metal handle for portable use. So I get a lot of questions about the cruisers and suitcase players, whether or not they're really portable in terms of being battery operated. They are not. However, this packaging is actually really good. Look at this. This nice foam piece in here. Let's pull this out. Music Public Kingdom. Interesting name. Had not heard of them until recently. Look at this. You get a 2-in-1 vinyl record cleaning set, which is cool. Let's see exactly what we get in here. No way. Look at this. Oh, that is so cool. It's like a microfiber brush. That is so cool. Look at that. I don't know if that's carbon fiber or just microfiber, but ooh, it feels like carbon fiber. I don't know. And then on the side, felt. And then a little tray for it. That is so cool. What a cool thing, you guys. And that's just included with the record player. Let's see what else we got here. I'm guessing a power supply. It's stuck in there. I'm gonna rip it open. It's not like I'm gonna be keeping this piece. This box is going in the trash. And I'm guessing there is a power supply, and plug it right into the wall, get it right into the record player. And there's another box in here. Okay, so this is the plugs for non-US receptacles. So if you're in the UK or elsewhere, they've got you covered. That's cool. I'm impressed, especially with this, you guys. Oh, that is so cool. What a nice touch. Music Public Kingdom. Okay. This is inspired by a 1960s design that looked very similar. And I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing. What is this? Is this the user manual? Oh, that's cool. I was like kind of hoping there to be a record in there, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that would be awesome. But wow, this manual, you know, the packaging is phenomenal, you guys. You know, I talk about that all the time. This is a custom form-fitted, you know, styrofoam piece. They have to pay, you know, to have, this is above and beyond, you guys. This isn't just some, you know, run-of-the-mill packing material. This is something special. And then there's this blocking material on the lid. See that? Where it's a little thicker. And that's like foam, so it keeps it packed in there nice and tight. And the manual's hefty. It's got a lot of good stuff in there for you. But let's see what we're all wanting to see, and that is the record player itself. As I hit a light. Okay. Okay, so it's wrapped in plastic. We're going to unwrap it like that. It is small. It's got a metal handle like it said. I got this beautiful blue color. It comes in orange and another color as well. Power supply in the back there. On the front here, you've got your volume knob, which also turns the unit on and off. Your tone control. There's the Bluetooth light, phone or Bluetooth mode, and this is the function select switch. So you set the speed 33, 45, or Bluetooth. Then over here is the eject button, and then obviously the slot where you put the record in. So it's a pretty simple device, super cool. You can carry it around with this handle. You can charge it up and truly have a portable record player. So those shots of playing records at the beach can become a reality with this wonderful unit. So let's go ahead and test it out. You got to be very careful when you place this in there not to go too high or too low. If you're not careful, you can feel the stylus actually dragging across it, which is not good. But once you get it in there, you're going to have to push on the record to get it to accept it. And then it'll start playing automatically. And that's with the volume all the way up. It's got good, loud sound. I feel like it started not quite at the very beginning of the record. I feel like it started just after the beginning. Good volume though. I mean, you could fill a room with that pretty easily. Now, when you're done, it's kind of, some people call these record launchers because watch this. It kind of does abruptly pop the record out. So that was, by the way, a 33, was that 33 RPM? Yeah, that was a 33 RPM, 7-inch disc with a small sprocket. So let's go on to a more traditional 45 RPM with a large sprocket. Regardless of the size hole you have, all you have to worry about is changing the speed there. So again, very carefully inserting this and then pushing it in. And there you go. It's got surprisingly good sound. That speaker is hefty. It does a good job. I'm not going to test out the Bluetooth functionality, but basically if you want to do that, you put this all the way to the right and it goes into Bluetooth pairing mode. I'm sure it does a good job with that. But I am interested to see what's under the hood. So we're going to tear it apart. Well, not tear it apart. We're going to take it apart and have a look inside. Okay, guys, full disclosure here. I just took this record out and look at it. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that is. I pray it's not the vinyl being carved out of the groove. I'm hoping that it is some sort of packing dust, but tread lightly, you guys. I wouldn't put your prized vinyl in here until you have a good idea of whether or not this is going to work for you. I think it's dust. I think it's packing dust. I hope it's packing dust. Didn't do it on the bottom, just on the top. But yeah, tread lightly. But let's have a look under the hood. Okay, looking on the bottom here, I'm going to take the screws out so we can have a look inside. It actually does have 33 and 45 RPM speed adjustment, so you can make those adjustments if you want to. Through the grill here, you can see the speaker. It's kind of hard to see on camera. But we're going to remove the screws and have a look under the hood, see what's going on. Another thing to consider too is, unlike, make sure this is off, unlike the original 1960s iteration of this, you cannot play this upside down or at different angles. You
carry it around while it's playing. It needs to be played level. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take these screws out and let's take a look. Once you get the 4 screws out, now I felt like I was breaking it and doing this, but the screws are removed, but the sticker on the front, that front panel sticker, is still holding it in place. So I'm very gently lifting it up, and there we go. We've got the 2 halves just like that. And we can unplug the speaker so the 2 halves separate. Now, this speaker, you guys, is it's like a 4 ohm, 3 watt speaker. It's got a hefty magnet on there. You can see underneath here that the case is indeed painted. It is not actual blue plastic, which is fine. But more interesting to me is this amazing mechanism. So we've got our cartridge, tone arm assembly, and I don't have a measurement device scale so that I can tell you the exact tracking force of this. However, my friend VWestlife actually did this video about 6 months ago and was able to measure it. So check that out right now.
It does have a counterweight on the back, but that is probably almost useless because it has this big stiff spring pulling it down onto the record. And I tried to measure this thing with my tracking force gauge, which is only designed to go up to 5 grams. But there's a trick you can do. You can put a 5-gram weight on it and push the tare button to 0 it, and then you can read up to 10 grams. And I stuck that underneath this thing, and it's still maxed out. So the tracking force is above 10 grams, which is definitely not good considering that the maximum tracking force that this cartridge is rated for is 6 grams.
According to him, it was coming in at over 10 grams of tracking force. And guys, that is a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight. Now the platter, so it's a belt-driven turntable. The platter it's interesting because the platter doesn't have like a rubber surface. It's just like this harsh sort of plastic surface. So the record isn't like sitting on anything that's like super cush. So we've got the circuit board down here. We've got this interestingly placed piece of foam. Here is the battery, the rechargeable battery. It's essentially like a cell phone battery. In the back is the power supply, and that is about it. This is interesting how this eject mechanism over here attaches to this bar. Yeah, physically it feels solid. This has weight to it. It's not like super, flimsy or anything like that. This is very interesting. I've never seen anything like that. Definitely not designed to be something you look at. And it's weighted back here. There are weights on it, and there's a spring. But this is an automatic mechanism, you guys. It's designed to function completely automatically. This is interesting. This spindle, see if I can get a better angle of this. So this is designed to play either the wide hole or the small hole. It does have a little piece of tape here. When VWestlife did his video, it had a little piece of tape, and this one still does. So not sure why they have to do it that way. I wonder if we can get it to play with the lid off. We'll give that a shot. Here is the cartridge. It's a typical Chinese Chuo-denshi type of stylus. You can replace the cartridge, I presume. There's a whole lot of gunk on that stylus. Let's see what's going on with that. And as you can see here, it's clean now. So I blew off all of the dust and gunk that was on there. It was stuck to the cantilever, it was stuck to the stylus. And I will say this, bravo for having an actual metal cantilever versus a plastic one. I'm not sure what the stylus tip is. It could either be ruby or sapphire. I'm guessing sapphire. Based on what I'm seeing here. It could possibly be diamond. I don't think it's ruby though, because usually you see the red. But anyway, let's move on. While we're down here, it does have a JYK motor, which is a pretty common turntable motor. Point of interest while we have it open. There's the battery. I believe it's a lithium polymer battery. And I think this foam is just kind of over the circuit board so that when a record ejects, that if there's any dirt or anything, it doesn't get into the circuit board. All right, I've got it plugged in. You should not do this. This is definitely not safe. You get shocked, but I just don't care anymore, so I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to stick the record in as though the lid were on. There it goes. And if the speaker was plugged in, we could hear it. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the speaker. I got the speaker. Got a speaker over there and the record over there. Helps if it's at the right speed. Let's see if it carves up the record or if that was just a fluke. A lot of surface noise. If you notice, there's a different color where it's played and where it hasn't. And you can hear this scraping noise. I'm going to unplug the speaker. I think it's tracking so heavy that it literally is destroying the record, honestly. Man, I wanted to love this thing. I wanted to like this thing, but there's just no denying it. This is damaging this record. Look at that. You're watching it before your eyes carve it up. And that powder is collecting again. Now check this out. There's an amazing amount of powder and it's off of the record. Now we verified it. So look at this. Look at this. There's that powder literally carving up the record, and that's the powder from the record. Just awful. Terrible. And then here's the record surface. So really disappointing, guys. This was such a great idea, but very poor execution in terms of the quality, because as you can see, this literally does destroy your records, and there's just no getting around that. It's definitely a cool novelty item in terms of the idea, but if they could have somehow made this just not be so heavy on the record, then it would have been fine. But that's what it comes down to. It's just too dang heavy. And that's why there's powder on the belt too. It's just shaving off and then falling down into that mechanism. And this record is literally and utterly destroyed now, which is sad. I probably shouldn't have done that to Dave Brubeck. That was actually kind of a good record. But anyway, there you go. I'm going to look into possibly modifying this, seeing if I can create a mod that would allow it to be lighter on the records. The idea is, it's cool. I mean, you stick the record in. Now watch what happens when you push it in. It actually lifts the cartridge and stylus up. See that? How it goes up a little bit and then it goes back down. It's sad, surprising, and it's a bummer. This thing has so much potential. It's so cool looking. The form factor is awesome. I love the idea of it, but, not great. With my heart broken, wiping a tear from my eye, and my Dave Brubeck record utterly ruined, I had a thought. It's kind of a white substance that's coming off of there. Is this a styrene record? Sure enough, this is a styrene record. Now, what is styrene? Think of a styrofoam cup, kind of the same idea, but super condensed, and then either painted or mixed with carbon black to make it black. But basically, it's a cheaper material than vinyl. Not all 45s are made of vinyl. So I got a 45 that is made of vinyl. We're going to test it in comparison, and I'll take another one for the team if necessary. But this is indeed styrene. However, that being said, I have never had a record player, Crosley Cruisers included, that have ever destroyed a styrene record. So I'm guessing this material may be more malleable, a little bit easier to scratch than vinyl. How do you test if your record is vinyl or if it is styrene? Usually on a styrene record, the label's really thick because it's just a sticker, or it's even painted on sometimes. Plus the very edge is kind of flat and sharp, whereas a vinyl record is more rounded and the label will be actually pressed into the surface. Another way to tell is if you let it hang between your fingers like this loosely and then kind of tap it, the styrene will have more of a ring, more of a metallic ring, whereas the vinyl will actually have more of a dull thud. If you just kind of go like that, it's kind of more of a dud, plasticky sound. And then the label is very smooth across there because this one is pressed in. So we are going to see if it also will destroy a vinyl record or if the destruction stops with styrene. But here we go. I just can't get over how good the sound quality is on it. Okay, so as it continues to play in there, just as a point of reference, here's a Styrene record. Day and night, guys. This is where it played. This is where it didn't. And I originally thought, well, maybe it's just dust. No, I cleaned the heck out of this record, you guys. It was a clean record. I actually used the carbon fiber brush that came with it, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and see. I have no idea. The record comes out and interesting. So for vinyl, there is some dust there. There is some dust. That was not there before. Played, not played. Very played, not played. Look how beautiful that was beforehand. Oh, I can't believe I did this. Stupid. I shouldn't have grabbed this record. I even have a stack of 45s that are just kind of junk records, as it were, and I totally should have grabbed those. But there you go. It definitely will damage your vinyl, unfortunately, and that is a bummer. Again, I'm going to look at possibly modding it myself. I'll probably keep it. I wouldn't feel right about selling it as is, but or even giving it away, you know, because it will destroy your vinyl. But this thing has potential, and I think that it can't be too hard to maybe put an extra spring on or something to kind of alleviate the tracking force that this thing is putting on the records. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you guys for watching so much. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.
I'm not very good at this.
Neither am I.
Okay, what can we lose?
Thank you for watching Record-ology. Stay tuned for a new show every Sunday and Wednesday. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter.
Hey, you're wonderful.